think our students, who will be the future of this country, are they well equipped to take the country to completely new levels of innovation?
There was a lot of gap between what they have learned and what they are implementing in the industry.
There is an institutional framework that allows for knowledge to be transferred on the spot, right?
The next part of it is upskilling and reskilling yourselves, which is very much required. We have a workforce in the industry, which is much more to the conventional.
Now, moving ahead, we will now begin the panel discussion on From Labs to Factories, Making India Ready for Clean Mobility Revolution. The discussion will be moderated by Mr. Vidya Shankar, who has been the head of N2.
So thank you, everybody. This is called a panel discussion, but I thought we will make it much more interactive. We have a whole lot of stalwarts from academia, we have stalwarts from industry, we have stalwarts who have taken the country between countries. So I think we'll make it as interactive as possible, right? But before that, quickly, I'll introduce the panel members. I know all of you have spoken, but we have with us we have with us, in the order of people sitting, Ujjwala. Ujjwala, ma'am, is a Senior Deputy Director, ARAI, and she's been contributing a lot to all the new vehicles that you see on the roads. She's contributing a lot to the technology that is being put on the roads, all of that. Ma'am, welcome, ma'am. If you can show your hands for others to see. Yeah, thank you. Okay. We have Anandi Iyer. She's the head of India office, Fraunhofer Institute. She's been instrumental in building a lot of bridges between Germany and India. So I welcome you, ma'am. Hi. So we have with us Professor Ashish Verma, and he's a professor of Transportation Systems Engineering, IISc Bangalore, Sustainable Mobility Stalwart, if I were to call him, academician. Welcome, sir. We have with us Dr. Vinutha Srikanth. She's a general manager, New Energy Group. Terrific blend of academia and industry. I think about a decade and a half with academia and about 4 or 5 years with Reliance right now. Welcome, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. So we will start with academicians first, right? Professor Ashish Verma. We see that a whole lot of new modes of transportation are coming, right? Electric vehicles have come, which are sustainable. We believe they'll be sustainable. We see a lot of hydrogen trucks applying in probably Europe, probably Japan, and very soon they will land here. We see that there are mass mobility solutions that are coming, all of that. So my question to you is, from the point of view of academia, from institutes of the pedigree of IISc and other institutes also, do you think our students, who will be the future of this country, are they well equipped to take the country to completely new levels of innovation? Are they equipped? If they are equipped, what more we should do? If we are not equipped, what can we do as a company? What can we do as an ecosystem? What can we do as individuals to get us to a latest level of innovation that is there? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, and thanks for making me the opening batsman. Always difficult. But of course,
bowlers are soft bowlers, sir.
Two stalwarts have already presented, so our job is easy. But I bring a systems perspective to the whole issue of transportation. That's how, it's transportation systems engineering. It's not just transportation engineering. Our focus has been to link mobility and transport to development goals. How do you see these linkages, whether it is climate mitigation or adaptation, or clean air, or quality of life and livability, or public health, or equity, or accessibility, or UN SDGs? How do you bring these explicit linkages and understanding, more and more understanding of how transport is contributing to these aspects, and how do we inform decision making on these aspects while we look at the core mobility issues and try to solve them, which are quite pressing in our cities, but we are also seeing, for example, degrading quality of life in all our cities. So for me, this lab to practice this, I mean, this whole translation is not just about technology, but it's also about policy. It's also about, reforms in governance. How do you, have right planning of modes and infrastructure? Where do you see the optimality? Yeah. For example, whether it is the sustainable mobility goals or our clean air and climate goals. I don't think they can be achieved just with electrification of mobility. A core approach has to be pushing active modes and shared modes, including public transport, into the mainstream as much as possible. So we look at that angle also, while we also look at the potential of clean technology, clean fuel into it. As far as students are concerned, what your question was, I don't think our programs have evolved very well in the country, especially when I look at the traditional transportation engineering programs. I think a lot more needs to happen in these programs to bring this interdisciplinary perspective to the students. At the same time, I keep cautioning that trying to create programs where you give students a flavor of everything. Yeah, it's like they know a little bit of everything, but they're not master of anything, is also very dangerous. So my feeling and approach is always that maintain a domain specialization, but create a better ecosystem of collaboration among domain experts. I think that's a better way to move forward, and that's where I think programs need to evolve, and this collaborative framework needs to evolve in universities, because we are still trying to focus in silos. Even the way career progression of faculty members are looked at, or students contribution is looked at, we are still looking at expectation of a more siloed approach. This interdisciplinary research, while it's being talked about, but it's not really rewarded and understood well. Slowly we are thinking about it, but a lot more needs to happen. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. So, while that answers the question of what needs to be done from an academic perspective, I'm going to move over to ma'am. From the point of you've been in both academia, ma'am, as well as in the corporate, right? So, given that, do you think that the students that are coming out of the organizations today are able to contribute instantly to the new mobility work that you may be doing at your org, or generally orgs of that caliber and pedigree of Reliance? Do you think more needs to be done, or are we there already? What is your thinking? And can be honest answer, right? So we are all there for us to listen to honesty, right? It need not be even a politically be correct statement. It can be a very, very frank statement. I'm saying that because you're smiling. The moment I started asking this question, you started smiling. So that's why the question.
The honest answer is no.
Okay. So what do we do? So
Again,
I
there are
think,
degrees of no
Yeah.
to this answer as well.
Yeah.
The students where I saw them 10 years back when I left the institution, they were at that stage
Okay.
wherein there was a lot of gap between what they have learned and what they are implementing in the industry. Maybe it is their own branch. If I say electronics, they are very, what you call, they are very in a starting phase when they enter into the industry. They don't understand the difference between what is practical in the industry and what is practical in the college. So that's the basic no. After I started in Reliance, after a decade, nowadays what students I am seeing, I have mentored more than 15 to 20 students out of different colleges from Bangalore. There is a lot of development in their thinking level and also the mindset, because nowadays students are into that entrepreneurial mode of learning. So as soon as they complete their third year, they are more focused on what they have to do, what they want to achieve by the end of 30th year of their lifespan. So they are very clear.
Okay.
And they are very clear in their perspective of knowledge acquisition or the work, what they want to do.
Okay.
So the answer is like no in terms of degrees.
So I think what you're saying, I think there's a lot of positive in what you're saying, because what you're saying is 10 years back, maybe when I came out of the college, I didn't have enough visibility of what I'll do in the next 10 years, right? But today you're saying at least there's a momentum shift that has happened where people and students know from at least when they're exiting the college, they know where they want to go. Probably they do not know what are the line item level details, if I may call it, for them to execute. So what do we do, again to both the academicians here, what do we do to make sure that students come up to that level so that there's a whole lot of workforce that this country consumes? When the moment it comes out, when we consume that workforce, what are we supposed to do as colleges, as industry, to make sure that that degree of no is 1 degree better?
As I was speaking to Ujjwala ma'am also during the lunch time, I would like to take it up as training the tutors itself. Rather than training the students, we need to bring the, I say not the tier 1 professors, tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, professors have to be upgraded to that level so that they gain respect in their student fraternity.
Okay.
So students can approach them directly. They say that my professor knows better than me.
Okay. Okay.
That's the attitude we need to
Okay.
build in.
Okay. Okay.
Then I think, yeah.
I think this is very awesome. This is very awesome to hear, because I think that is another degree of honesty. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Go, yeah. Sir. Yeah, go ahead, sir, please.
you asked two.
Yes, yes, both of you. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So it's an interesting question, and I'll talk about what approach I follow. In fact, I feel happy. 12 PhD students in the last 16 years that I have graduated, they are equally in academic as well as in industry job, as well as in software companies and so on. So I have always focused on a strong empirical approach in my research, so that it brings a real world perspective into what PhD they are doing. And I've invested a lot of time in living lab approach. In fact, I'm currently a Green Urban Mobility Innovation Living Lab, which was originally an initiative of GIZ through German Development Grant, and now being hosted in my lab. And other than that, there is an Active Mobility Center of Excellence that I've been, initiating. All in these aspects, the whole idea is that you don't ideate or try out or assess solutions in lab, but take it in real environment and generate evidences and data. And those data sets, unique data sets, actually feed back well into the PhD and master's research.
Sure.
So it gives not just the practical perspective and the students to think a real world problem, but also gives them that unique data set on which we are able to publish also. So it's a wonderful win-win situation, and it really orients the students very well. So that's how I see a good result of they being equally placed in industry as well as in academia.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So I'm now going to ARAI, and so, ma'am, the question to you, ma'am, is that in what way ARAI thinks it can contribute to upskilling our kids, our future leaders. What I'm hearing from academia is that students are significantly better now, right? And they need hand-holding, guidance. If I were to really summarize what I heard in the last few minutes, I think there is empirical evidence that is required. There is empirical understanding of, practical understanding of whatever they've learned, they should be able to apply. And I've heard that previously people were very, very theoretical. Now at least we have moved. In what way do you think ARI can be a contributor? I know we are creating digital twins. I know we are creating a lot of stuff, right? So in what way can ARI enable?
I think digital twin is a second part of ARI academia story.
Sure.
ARI has its ARI Academy 15 years back. And we have, I believe, I'm not from academia though. If I'm doing any stats wrong, I had to correct and give back to my team who is there. So being in this panel, it's also is a surprise for me, but it's okay. I'm representing ARAI. That's the only thing that I'll tell. See, 2000 plus alumni who are in the industry, either working there at very different levels, not only in India, outside India. They have their own startups. We've supported student startups from ARI. And that's where the thinking was that can we have a more industry ready manpower and resources. And hence ARI is not a degree granting
Definitely.
at all.
Yeah.
So we collaborated.
Sure.
So we collaborated with multiple degree granting academic institutes, and then we tried to create what is sir has been saying is experiential learning for them. So what is required for the industry? Can they be exposed to those things? Is something what ARIA has tried over a time, and I would say it was extremely successful till a point, probably I would say till COVID days or early days, where the entirely we have shifted ourselves to the VUCA world. I today would like to say that. And when I'm saying this, the world, I think if somebody is thinking that my 10 years where I am, I know where I'm going and what I do, I think it's a myth. See, today, the things are evolving and changing so much. I think the only constant is the change that we have. And 100% learnability and systems knowledge and understanding is the some way where it is going to take you further. And that's where the actual real world learning is going to treat you or teach you more so that you be always relevant in the industry. So relevance in the industry is much more required. That is what currently I would say. Now what ARI does right now also, if you look into, one is definitely knowledge initiatives that are the background degrees that we're talking about. The next part of is upskilling and reskilling yourselves, which is very much required. We have a workforce in the industry, which is much more to the conventional ecosystem, which was, it could be mechanical, ICE and such kind of things. Now, the same workforce, we have to take it further. We cannot say from tomorrow you are going home and sorry, bosses. So it's not going to do and it's not going to work. And that's where the reskilling and upskilling is very, very important and mandatory part of it. And that's where ARA works a lot. It works in isolation. It works independently or with different industries where we do that.
Yeah.
So it could be high voltage training for multiple industries. Where, because if you are working actually on batteries or integration at that level or the HL at high voltage or anywhere you are looking into, you need certified high voltage people. And therefore they have to be in the assembly line, as well as in a testing domain, as well as post part or designers also for that. So this is one domain. Similarly, we are doing now 6 months postgraduate course only on the smart mobility. It's not for people who have come with that background itself, but really want to upskill and reskill into and find out where they want to go further. What are the new opportunities they are waiting for and looking further for that part. So this is how AR has been looking at integrated way. Of course, we are always open for collaborations. We do work with many people. I'd rather ARI by itself is a collaborative body itself, wherein we believe wherever there is an impact to be made and there is opportunity for collaborations, we are open. That's what I would like to say.
Terrific.
Of course, one part is, as you said, the CEFC. Again, the concept is Common Engineering Facility Center. The thought process by itself is, can we have a common engineering facility where everybody need not to invest on engineering facilities by itself. Of course, we know testing facilities that ARA has, but beyond that, engineering facilities which can be done and managed more effectively and professionally rather than typical academic ways, so that it is useful to MSMEs and startups more focusedly, because every time investing in such big investment is practically not possible. And I'm very happy that we have partnered with people like Micelio there.
Super awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So before I go to Anandi, right, I said that we'll have this as an interactive session. I'm going to open the floor for some of you. If you want to ask a question to Ujjwala ma'am, you could go ahead and ask. I know I'm breaking here, but go ahead and ask because I don't want to keep it monotonous. Please go ahead. Anandi, you are going to be the climax person, right? So we are saving you for the last. So opening batsman, but we have a climax here.
Hello, ma'am. Uh, I have a question. Uh, we have introduced this EV course
If you
for
can, sorry, if you can introduce yourself.
myself, Manjunath from Nita Meenakshi Institute of Technology. We have introduced EV course for mechanical students maybe 2 years back. I'm teaching that course. But what I could see is there is a growing gap between the curriculum and the field expectations. Every year, just now I saw Tirusar's presentation, there are a lot of new things. But how to overcome this gap? How to make students understand this, or we can't change the syllabus very often. So what we can do to overcome this?
I think he has given the answer, living labs. Do the practical things. More go towards the experiential learning, which is very, very important. Try to look at real world challenges, how they can be solved, and they cannot be solved alone. I think they have to be more collaborative within your courses itself. See, when I came out of, I'm an electronics engineer, by the way. When I came out of electronics engineer, at my time it was more Philips and radio engineering was the key. I came to automotive field where at that time automotive field was not having any of the electronics part of it. It was only an ignition system which was electronics that time. And now we have cross electronics and gone to SDVs and part of it. So before that also if you look into, I have to understand what the engine is. If I don't understand engines, being electronics engineer, I was never taught anything on a four-stroke engine, two-stroke engines, and emission pollutions, gears, transmission systems, and everything. But if I don't learn that, I will not be relevant in the industry by itself. So what I'm trying to tell you is learnability is the only constant thing that we have to have, and we have to go with a collaborative approach. And real-world challenges and real-world parts, if you more work collaboratively, they will learn. I'll give you an example of systems which was initiated by ARAI through SAE was a Baha event. Recently we have a Baha in Chennai. But what is Baha is all about creating a vehicle by itself. It's more a practical knowledge you could say. And you get different domain people working together to run that vehicle. So it could be earlier it was only a normal Baha, it was M Baha you can call now. Is where we have to know transmission, we have to know the engine, we have to know suspension, steering and durability kind of it. When we went to E Baha, it was motors, controllers, batteries, and then working together part of it. Now when we are going to Baha, more than 50% people were from electronics and software too, where we are looking at perception sensors, looking at integration. But we can't go ahead only with electronics and software because we need to understand the systems. We need to understand the vehicle dynamics. We have to understand the brakes. So all these things need to be integrated together. And as sir said, I think domain can be one, but understanding an interface has to be there. And that's what I call it as a system engineering approach, where systems needs to be understood more integrated ways. And practical is the right way to do about it. And that's what my reading. There are great educationalists here and they can contribute more on that, I believe.
I think I'll add one comment. We did say that there is a gap between industry and academia when it comes to translational research and things like that. When it comes to education, actually that gap does not need to be there. I think it's very important for faculty and students to work on industry problems and bring industry in. Many institutions do bring industry in their final year and have industry people come and teach an optional course. And that's a fantastic thing. And you can have industry people work with faculty to develop the emerging areas, and then that is a very, very healthy way. And we're willing to help facilitate, but I think this is something that I would very much recommend.
Sir, again, I would like to add to your point. This is happening in only Tier 1 colleges or IIMs or XLRI or ISB. It's not coming to the Tier 2 and Tier 3 level. So there something has to be done from either the ARAI or the IITs. They have to take an initiative, go to the colleges and just upskill or translate or transform the tutors so that all are geared up to one common motto.
We'll take it positively. I'll also pass it on to people where, which are the colleges where we can connect back and create something about more awareness, more experiential learning parts of it also.
Terrific, ma'am. To your point, I think we have some colleges like that, right? So he's saying that in his college, he's institutionalized a course on EV, and then he's saying that I'm finding it difficult to keep up the pace with the change that is happening, right?
But again, the syllabus is framed by them only.
Okay, okay.
So it has to be a collaborative effort of framing the syllabus also.
Sure.
I think there is a requirement, I believe, that syllabus, on the syllabus, normally industry people are there, right? No?
I don't think so.
Because I myself are almost 6 colleges I'm working with in Pune, where I'm guiding them what is needed.
There's
and
no
what can-
mandate like that. And I think more than the mandate, if you look at Europe, most of Europe, it's a seamless collaboration between academia, industry, and research organizations. For example, Fraunhofer, we have 76 institutes, but the head of every institute is 50% chair at the local university. So, there is an institutional framework that allows for knowledge to be transferred on the spot, right? And industry is part of the whole ecosystem. They even move between a Fraunhofer and the industry and the academia. So today, head of strategy at BMW, tomorrow can be a professor at a university TU Munich. He's also a professor at, he's also somebody working at the Fraunhofer. So that system has to be created, because you can't every time look at one institution and say, how do I do this? There has to be an institutional mechanism that promotes this kind of sharing and learning. Because at the end of the day, what are we looking at? We are looking at an output of students who are industry ready. Simple understanding of that, right? And that can only happen. And our youngsters are so bright. I mean, if I look at them, very soon they'll say, I don't need to go to a college anymore. Because they have so much opportunity to learn things from elsewhere, that this hope of keeping them inside an institution is actually very soon going to fade away. And if we don't capture that reality and work towards it, I think we are really moving towards a problem situation.
In fact, I was going to ask that question to you, but you preempted the question. You answered the question. Thank you for that, ma'am. Yeah. So we have there was another gentleman who wanted to make a point. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, basically, as this curriculum design has come into the picture in the question now, so I must say, like for autonomous college, it has become easy task for us. Like I belong to Global Academy of Technology. I'm the Dean of Industry Interactions, Innovation and Incubation. With me, my head of the Department of Electrical is also available here. So what we are doing in autonomous college, like we customize our syllabus as per the industry need every year. Every year we have our own BOS, Board of Studies, and we have the industry people as well in our Board of Studies. And then we are taking all the inputs and then we are customizing it. So one way is this, but as we are talking about other colleges also, like who are not autonomous, right? So for that also it is practical, like SI Baha, like our students have participated earlier, now ISI they are going. So this way, of course, multidisciplinary projects can treat more learning capabilities for the students. That is a real situation as actually.
Super.
And lastly, one small point, we have institutions innovation council. So through that, what we can do is like mentor the mentee. I just came to know like mentors have to be mentee first. So yes, now Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell and AICT have given a good budget to all the colleges. They can mentor the teachers, and teachers are becoming the innovation ambassadors and they are getting awards. And then like we are supporting the startups. So likewise, the startups can be supported through the support of industries as well.
Terrific. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So you had a point, sir.
I have one question. Can I ask to him?
Yeah,
if you're, you said you are, and every year you are updating and modifying the syllabus that you're talking about. Has that impacted on your employability?
Yes, employability index has been increased, and what we are seeing, like the positive feedback from all the stakeholders, is increasing day by day. And see, I have joined 8 months back this college, and within last 8 months, we have initiated the incubation facilities. In last 8 months, I have 102 startup ideas registered in my campus, in my incubation center. So nearly 462 students have participated. So this is happening because of the awareness, and this is happening because of the industrial relations, how we have nurtured through the curriculum redesign. So that is possible.
Super awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Just few points.
Thank you, sir. So I am working as an adjunct professor in ARAI University, as I am having more than 12 years of industry and academia experience. So what I felt in that ARAI University, they given an opportunity to teach the students industry-oriented problems. As my core, they have a course like e-mobility. So they have a not a semester kind of syllabus, they have a sprint kind of syllabus. It is one of the fantastic course curriculum where the students they can learn the course within 12 days. So in 12 days they have to the overview of the subject, and more they have to spend, as sir told that lab, they spend more time in lab, will give the basics idea of how to develop the projects, the industry project, with not a larger scale, but at least the learning skill, their level, they can inbuilt. So we thought about the thermal management system in EV vehicles, either it may be traction motor or power electronics or battery. We give any one of the field and give an idea. Definitely they did. So recently I completed course, students have developed an air cooling system, smart air cooling system, because it is an interdisciplinary subject, not only mechanical, not kind of thing. It is a interdisciplinary. They should learn smart IoTs and other AI, ML. So these things integrated, and they made some project. So there is a fantastic course. So I think it is not a gap. It's now the university academy also, they are following some industry standards.
It's very interesting to hear a sprint as a syllabus. It is like reels of
Yes.
it is like reels of education, looks like that, right? So like a Twitter of education. I don't know if that works, but I think that is something for the time will tell. I think it's a terrific initiative. I'd like to understand how it is performed and all that. Thank you so much for bringing that thought process, sir. Yeah.
Like you said, Ujjwala ma'am, that when you were studying, you didn't study about, but you're so successful today. And many of us, what we studied is for the sake of qualification, but what we're doing is everything is learned on the job. Why do we feel we need to spoon feed the next generation? Like, can't we say it's survival of the fittest and grow organically anyway?
I think sir will be the right people to answer, but
Maybe when we completed our education, there was a lot of time for learning. And today, you know the pace, what the world is going. So for that pace, I think student must be ready in their second and third year itself, not even the fourth year. So that is the answer I would like to give you. That's why we want to see the students industry ready before entering into the industry, or even before they complete their going into their internship level.
No, I don't think it's really about spoon feeding. I mean, you really need to create certain domain knowledge and expertise, which definitely requires certain direction. I think this growing idea of major and minor in academic programs. For example, majoring in civil engineering with minor in AI/ML. My son did that, and he's really benefiting from that. So those are also certain models that we can use. But it's dangerous to just leave them because today everybody is a graduate from Google and WhatsApp university, and it's very dangerous because half knowledge is extremely dangerous.
yeah, that's definitely one point. What you have to really learn is very important. There is so much of information around it. So information and knowledge, separating it out is very, very difficult and important. And unless we are making them capable to solve the challenges, I think problem solving are the skills beyond the technical part that we are putting in. So wherever you go, it has to be important that how we can collaborate, how we can solve the problems. These are the key areas which are the key skills which has to be generated and or taught or practiced, I would say, so that they have to be really successful in the entire curriculum. That may it be a job, may it be other entrepreneurial skills, anything.
Super. I think a lot of discussion there. So I'm going to go back to ma'am, Anandi ma'am. So there are a lot of thought process that is there in Europe, Germany in specific, and it's not the end of it, right? So I'm just going to her because a lot of thought process that is happening in Europe, right? About 10 years back or 20 years back, when I went to Europe, I used to feel that Europe was significantly advanced than us. And just like last year I went to Europe, I felt that the digital payments that we have in India, the infrastructure that we have in India is far more sophisticated than what is there in Europe, right? So somewhere UPI has instilled this belief in us that as country India can do better in a lot of fields and sectors. So likewise, in the sector of mobility, I think even now Europe is far more sophisticated. The way their systems are built, their institutions are built, the collaboration between the academia and the industry is built. I think that is far more superior. So for India to be there, okay, for our colleges to be a part of, to understand and learn from them, what should we do? In what way can Fraunhofer Institute help them? Is there a way in which you can help them?
No, I don't want to be prescriptive here because I think we are all like working really hard in our own ways, and you really cannot compare India to Europe. I mean, you can't compare any two countries because a Fraunhofer is an evolution of 75 years. So, and you know, the conditions were also very different. But I think if you look at the Fraunhofer, what we bring to the table is the ecosystem approach, which is what Ujjwala ji also mentioned, and in his brilliant presentation, you also talked about it. In fact, you really pointed out some of the key elements that are missing in the Indian ecosystem. And you know, it's not something new. We've been talking about it for 20 years now, talking about the same thing and saying this is missing, but doing nothing about it. I think from our experience, I see two major issues in India. One is the valley of death, where you have this brilliant fundamental research, and really it's better than many things I've seen in Europe, right? And on the other hand, the industry, which is really comfortable in its service economy. You know, even in manufacturing, we have perfected the art of service. So somebody comes, gives us the technology, we turn it around and sell it back to them, and we are happy with the profits we are making. We have never bothered to invest in product technology because that's hard, but it's hugely valuable. And it's that you go for low value, easy money, and we are comfortable with that. That has affected our economy so much that even today in the last 20 years, our contribution of GDP, R&D to GDP is a mere 0.7%. Come on. You know, I mean, countries like Brazil are doing 0.8% more than us, right? Countries whom we want to compete with all the time, China is 2.5. South Korea is 5.6. And so what are we even talking about when it comes to product innovation? UPI is great, but it's not product innovation, right? It's again fintech innovation. Brilliant. We need to, if we want to move up the value chain, which we can do, we have to look at product innovation. It's hard. It calls for investment. It calls for sweat and blood. But that's the only thing that has helped China come forward. And that's the only thing that has helped Korea come where they did with semiconductors. And that's the only thing that helped Germany. So I think there's no way around it. We have to swallow this pill. The second thing that we have is the democratization of technology has not happened in this country. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are islands of influence. You take forging, we have Best Bharat Forge. After that, what? The other countries are still doing manual graining and, you know, working with hands on the first part of forging. On the second side, we have critical gaps in technology. So even if you try to do something across the value chain, you are dependent on somebody else. So we've never created that capability in our SMEs. And even today, sadly, we are focusing on startups all the time. Startups are brilliant, but they have a gestation period. You have ready to pick up SMEs who have capability, who are surviving. Why don't you infuse technology into them? And you know, you will have a shorter gestation period. So democratization of technology is supremely important, and somehow we are still not talking about it. I tried to put this point in many, many meetings that I'm sitting on and saying, startups are great, they are important, but please weave them into that economy, the ecosystem, so that they can support SMEs to come forward. My only suggestion is that we have to do two things. One is this moving to product innovation, and secondly, to be able to test at scale, because that is part of that product technology. If we can't do testing at scale, we will stay short of bringing that product to the market, because we'll be only testing at the prototype and that level. So I totally agree with what Thiru said, that fundamental research, we are brilliant, but those people cannot do applied research. This is something else. So let them do what they're brilliant at, but create and support institutions that are doing. Already we have the CDACs, the ARAI, so many other institutions that are working with industry. Why don't we strengthen them instead of trying to create, a center of technology in something else? And I mean, something that you are doing is brilliant because it's away from the institution. You are autonomous, you take the strengths and you talk to industry. That's the model we really need to move, if you ask me, from our experience.
And that's why we had you at the. That's why we had you as a finisher, ma'am. Right? So, so we wanted 6 sixers in the last over. So that is why we had you as a finisher. I think terrific points, everybody. We are at 3:45. That is the right time for us to close. Thank you, everybody, for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, all the panel members. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you to you.